Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to Tower Tuesday of December 19th, 2023. It is such an honor and a privilege to have you. If this is your first Tower Tuesday, then welcome. We are talking about something that Spirit is destroying and replacing this week in our lives. And it's for anyone who's landed on this video, it's for the entire collective, and in a way, it's also timeless. If you find yourself here, and it's not December 19th, 2023, or even a Tuesday, at any time in the world, it is okay. This message is still for you. You found it, it found you, you found one another, and knowledge does not arise until such time as there's a reason for it to be useful. So if you are drawn to this setting, then welcome, enjoy, and let's dive in. Spirits, tell us, what is being destroyed this Tower Tuesday, please? What is being brought down in our lives this Tower Tuesday? And we're going to get multiples, 3. And let's also see, please, Spirit, what is being replaced or what is arising as a result of this Tower crumbling. And this has been such a powerful month, beautiful soul. I'm sure you felt it in collective energy as we ramp up toward 2024. There is such an increase in intensity and speed and focus and manifestation. This card wants to come off. That I'm sure you have sensed the power. This one's, these two as well. All right. So we have 3 and 3. Let's start by turning over what is being destroyed this Tower Tuesday. The Mystic, the Vessel, and the Queen. Wow. And let's see what's taking its place. The Castle, the Heart, and the Nectar. Whoa. This is a very clear and specific message, and that it's coming through for our collective is beautiful. Because I feel that, well, I'm sure you've heard this saying, birds of a feather flock together, and they do indeed. So if you found this video, that means that you're sharing energetic similarities with our family. And here is what this is saying to me. Spirituality has been playing a role in the life and the lives of our collective in a very distinct way. Up until now. And I think this has been over the course of the entire year and beyond. But when it comes to the mystic, spirituality has been giving us knowledge, which we see through these eyes. It's been giving us insights, and it's been giving us comfort over the course of this year, and even prior in some cases, possibly years. It has served as a storage space for us to return to for safety, return to for comfort, return to for reassurance, and even to boost our self-esteem, to boost our worthiness, our knowing of who we are. And the power of this can really not be overstated, beautiful soul, when it comes to how this journey, this spiritual path has bolstered us all as individuals and a community. I have felt it since I joined YouTube, I believe in April of 2023. That was, I don't know, I don't do math, but was it like 8 months ago? This world has been so beneficial, so healing, and I can see here that the way this Tower Tuesday is working is not to destroy this relationship that we've had with our spiritual journey. It's not to disrupt our path and tell us that we were ever wrong, or that it was ever incorrect, or that we were using spiritual escapism, nothing like that. It's actually a beautiful transition, and it makes me want to cry. I'm sure you know at this point, if you're a little Reader's House regular, what it sounds like when my voice gets all trembly and I can't hold it anymore. I do tend to get emotional in these readings because they're so beautiful, and I want to now, but at the same time, the energy that Spirit is pouring on me is so uplifting and so magical that I can't bring myself to cry tears of sadness. These would be tears of joy. So what Spirit is saying quite directly is you have had this opportunity over the past year, beautiful soul, and what a long cycle to be breaking on this Tower Tuesday, the 19th. You had such a long journey of discovering your own mystic abilities, discovering your own magic, discovering your own love of tarot and love of the unseen realms and love of the ephemeral and the ethereal and the subtle. And in doing so, you have achieved and reached this level of healing that is now kind of settled into the body. At times, Spirit says this was an escape from the body. It was an escape from the material, escape from the world of form, but it allowed us to be empowered, and it allowed us to take on this crown and to develop a spiritual identity. And it's important to say that Spirit is not saying that this spiritual identity is what is crumbling this Tower Tuesday. On the contrary, wait until you see what's coming as a match to all of these energies. So Spirit is saying, my beloved, you have basked in the realm of the spiritual for long enough. It is time to come alive. And this reminds me of the Velveteen Rabbit, and that is a story that I often find myself quoting in readings, both public general and private. The Velveteen Rabbit becomes a real rabbit in that story. And to be honest, I'm not even super familiar with it. I remember it being read to me as a child, but I don't remember all of the details. I just remember that the Velveteen Rabbit's goal is to be real. And to become real has something to do with being loved. And Spirit is saying, my beloved, you have loved yourself so well on this spiritual journey. You have poured love not only into your life and into those around you and into your friends and your family and your community, but you've also poured love into yourself by making the time for your rituals, by making the time to develop self-awareness, by making the time to journal, to reflect, to grow, to hold yourself accountable. Oh my gosh, I actually might cry, and you can cry with me. I don't have any Kleenex around, but who needs them? That's what the back of our hand is for, am I right? No, I'm just kidding. That's gross. I would never do that. But caught red-handed. But this is beautiful, beautiful energy, because look what's coming, beautiful soul. I'll stop waxing poetic here and just get to the meat and the juice. The queen is something that exists as a personal identity. The queen knows that they're a queen because they said so, because they've been told it's in their bloodline. A queen knows they're a queen because of the throne on which they've been placed. But sometimes in this world, and the story of the Prince and the Pauper, or if you prefer, one of my personal favorites, the Barbie movie, The Princess and the Pauper, sometimes a queen gets kicked off of their throne and finds themselves in a place where they feel like they don't belong. And Spirit is saying that's where you have been, beautiful soul. You have been the queen who has had to relearn your queenhood. And it doesn't matter your gender, however you identify, whether you're male, female, masculine, feminine, anything on the spectrum of gender, this is about royalty. And you have been developing and remembering. That's the word that Spirit wants to bring. The remembrance of your royalty is what you have been developing over this past year. And I'm being brought to a year as a time frame specifically. So think back to January 2022 to December 2022, January 2023, beginning of this year, very end of last year, is the cycle that we're launching into here. It includes New Year's resolutions that you made to yourself in January 2023. You have developed this identity, but until now, it was something that lived in the mythic. It was something that lived in your heart, in your spiritual journey, but it was not something that was perhaps tangible to others. You've been walking around with a pep in your step, beautiful soul, because you knew who you were inside. You have developed and decided who you were inside. Here's what Spirit's doing now. Spirit is returning you to the castle. Spirit is saying your manifestation, whatever that is, is coming true. Now, beautiful soul, I'm not one to, in the little reader's house, I'd rather shatter a dream than enhance a delusion. I just made that up, but it seems perfectly relevant. I am not one to say that your manifestations are coming if they're not coming. I'm not one to say that your relationship is blooming if it is in fact not. However, this message is straight from Spirit to say that this Tower Tuesday, what's collapsing and what's breaking down is the life you had to lead in which your wealth and your assets were all in your heart. Spirit is saying now you get to see them in your hand. When the queen is returned to their castle, this is the world recognizing the seat that you sit on, beautiful soul. Whoa. This is the world recognizing your role. This is the world recognizing and validating and honoring your effort, your work. This is the product of a release that's happened here. And it's a reward, not because we don't deserve rewards all the time, we do. And Spirit grants them to us by giving us life and giving us breath to continue another day and to experience another day. This is a different type of reward. This is quite literally the formation of so much investing into a spiritual bank account that it turns into form. And now the queen goes into the castle. This is not your typical Tower Tuesday, my love. This message is in fact maybe not even what we think of when we think of the Tower card, because we've all been taught to, and rightfully so, this is its traditional interpretation. We've been taught to understand that it is often a painful fall. But think of falling in love, beautiful soul. Falling in love. For some of you, that's going to be what happens this week, kicking off Tuesday, December 19th. You might be falling in love today. You might be falling in love this week. Something is going to fill your heart in a way that you haven't felt it in form for so long, perhaps even since a previous life. This continued faith, this continued optimism, this continued presence that you have brought. You have celebrated the present moment, beautiful soul, to such a degree that this week you see the desires of your heart coming into form. You've built a spiritual identity. Now your identity becomes validated. Now your identity becomes seen. Now your heart becomes full. And I'm going to say it again. Heart, two people in a boat on the water, navigating the water being the location of emotion. I wrote a song once called Ocean of Emotion. Maybe I'll bust out the ukulele and sing it for you sometime. But this is two characters navigating the ocean of emotion. It also always has reminded me of the lake scene in The Notebook. If you are familiar with this scene, we can take even a closer look there. Woo. What is it? Noah and Allie? I'm not a fan of that movie. No, I'm just kidding. I only know their names by heart. I love it. Love The Notebook. The Nectar, as if it couldn't get any more romantic. Check it out. The Nectar is another thing, wow, that this energy that's being destroyed is being replaced with. And this energy that's being destroyed, Spirit is making it very clear. This isn't destruction to the degree that things are falling apart like an ego death, which is, again, what we often associate the Tower card with. This is manifestation. Ooh, and I have so many personal triggers associated with that word, and Spirit's saying, calm down, little reader. This isn't about you. Thanks, Spirit. Thanks for putting me back in my place. It's not about me. It's about you, actually. And it's about the manifestation. And yes, in spiritual terms, you and I are one, and we are the same source wearing different costumes. And this time, what has been imprinted in the Akashic records through repeated prayer and manifestation and belief and simple knowing and presence comes alive. With the nectar, this is a huge influx of love. This is a huge influx of celebration. This is nectar for the heart. With nectar and the heart right here next to one another, I don't know how else to say it. This is, for so many, this is romance. And to be bringing this message on a Tower Tuesday is baffling me as much as it may be baffling you, beautiful soul. But if you were looking for love in all the wrong places, well, guess what? You apparently have started looking for it in the right places now, baby, because it is here. So let's recap and make sure that everything is fully understandable. You've developed a spiritual identity, beautiful soul, a good one, not one that's used for spiritual escapism. And I say good and bad very loosely. I've learned better than to judge as if I know what's good and what's bad. But what I mean is a healthy spiritual identity in which you know who you are. You've got rituals, you've got presence, you've got faith, you've got trust. With the vessel here, you have healed. With these amber colors here, this is a connection between your solar plexus chakra, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra. And we see that again with the red of the queen. These lower chakras, and I say lower not to mean inferior, I simply mean if we're looking at an individual who's standing up, they are lower on the body than higher. But this is not a matter of superiority or otherwise. This is simply to say that these fundamental foundational chakras have been healed and nurtured through your connection to the divine over the past year. The work you've done is being celebrated. Your guides are applauding. Your spiritual family is doing backflips for you. I cannot get any more dramatic than this. But Spirit is saying, if you could, little reader, then you better, because that's the degree of celebration that's occurring for the spiritual work that you've done over the course of this year. What's collapsing is the notion that all needs to be spiritual, that all the rewards are ephemeral, that all the rewards are a feeling that you get. Spirit is saying, yes, it's true. But you started out with a feeling and you started out with a frequency, and now it's becoming real. And what's collapsing is the veil and the separation between you and the object of your desires. So beautiful soul, if you have wanted romantic love this week, I am not kidding, I am not joking. This is what Spirit is telling me to say. I have my own personal, limitations with this because I am someone who has a huge ego, but Spirit is saying that if you've wanted love, that's what is coming. If you've wanted romantic love, that's what's coming. If you've wanted love of your career, of your craft, that's what's coming. If you've wanted upliftment in your physical realm, if you've wanted celebration, if you've wanted recognition, if you've wanted any kind of prize or had your eye on anything in particular, whether that be a material object, a location, or a person even, person, place, or thing, a noun. That is what this castle represents, and that is what is coming to you this week in the most unexpected way. And it's unexpected, beautiful soul, because this is something you gave up on. This is something that you might not even know what I'm talking about right now, because you have foregone attachment to this thing. In lieu of attachment to whatever this thing is, you have devoted yourself to your spiritual journey. And for that, Spirit says, thank you. Thank you. This is only a natural byproduct of what comes when someone does that. The heart full of what? Nectar. Nectar is not ethereal. Nectar is the sensation. It's the chemicals that your body is going to produce in this physical dimension as a result of this thing, this manifestation. So let's see how it's going to unfold. As always, we're going to take a look into the how, but what a beautiful energy. What an unexpected energy that I did not see coming, but I love to see. Again, what is collapsing this week for you, beautiful soul? What is collapsing is the distance between the love in your heart and the trust and the faith and the integrity and the character that you've built in your spiritual progress over the last year, and the manifestation of all that you desire in the present. And again, this is timeless. So if you find it at some other random time, you stumbled into a Tower Tuesday going, what is a Tower Tuesday? And you got onto this video, this is true for you as well. For this collective at this point in time, this is almost like a New Year's gift. And I've mentioned it before hither and thither on past videos to say that 2024 is going to be different and there's going to be a different energetic flavor in the year. And I meant that wholly and completely. This is the beginning of that, which is incredible. So whatever this manifestation is, I want to know. I want to know what it was for you. Tell me and share it if you would like to. You can share it privately via email in the bio section. Or I'm sorry, is it called the bio? The description. Or you can share it publicly with our community who is so loving and so kind and really encapsulates and embodies the energy of the mystic, the vessel, and the queen. The individuals in this community, boy, they have brought me to life more times than I can share, and given me life in ways that I'm not even certain they know. And I'm so thankful. So let's check it out. Spirit, how is this going to come to be using Brit's Third Eye Tarot? Our December 19th Power Tuesday. How is this manifestation going to come to be? What can we expect over the course of our week? Please share how this separation, this wall of separation gets torn down, Spirit. And that reminds me of the mind. On another project I'm working with, something that I've been shown is that the mind is really the separation between the divine, which animates our body, and form, which is our body and is every physical thing, knock on wood, but every physical thing in this dimension. The mind is that gap. So the mind often reflects how far or close we are from merging the divine with form. And that's the realm of miracles. So it makes me believe that the mind is an important player this week. So Spirit, please show us. Ooh. Ah, the Seven of Cups. It starts with a dream. Whoa, to the Queen of Cups. To Roman numeral upside down. Help me. Four of Wands, I believe. Just kidding. Six of Wands in reverse. Ah, and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Clarifying the Seven of Cups with the Ten of Swords. Clarifying the Queen of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. Clarifying the Six of Wands with the Knight of Cups. And clarifying the Ten of Pentacles with the Two of Cups in reverse. Wow, this card also wants to come out. The Empress. Incredible. And King of Wands in reverse. Back of the deck. Whoa. So let's go through it piece by piece, darling. And talk about, so Spirit's saying not so linear, little reader. It's not going to be as step by step. Oops, I see that some things are not showing up. I will hold up the card for you if that's okay with you, beautiful soul, so that you can see each one as we talk through it. And let's put this where it's visible, right over here. Perfect. Okay. So Spirit's saying not so linear. It's not going to be quite as step by step over the course of the week. Instead, what's going to happen is some of these events are going to happen simultaneously and some may have already happened. And I'll explain why I say that. With the Seven of Cups, it starts with a dream. And this really drives home this idea of manifestation, this concept that this is what's collapsing is the separation between you and something you've desired. With the Seven of Cups, this is something that you've dreamed about. I can't help but notice the love in a cup because this has been so romance oriented and because Spirit keeps showing me images of people kissing and embracing. I think that this, maybe it's the mistletoe in the air, you know? Maybe it's the blessing of my birthday month. But Christmas time and the December holidays, irrespective of which you celebrate, do have a very romantic vibe to them. I will say that. Anyway, something you've dreamed of. You've dreamed of it before and given up on it because of the agony of the worries. The it's never going to happen. The I've done everything I possibly can to manifest it. The I think I should give this up. If you at some point watched the twin flame video on this channel, as a matter of fact, that says, why won't my twin flame ground? This could be calling out to some of you as well who decided, okay, in lieu of trying to manifest this, I'm going to do as Spirit says and instead devote myself to celebrating the present moment as it is, with the full trust that there's a reason why everything is happening as it is happening. This 10 of Swords in reverse tells me that the relinquishment of this energy has been deliberate. I will say that again in a way that is making sense. The releasing and the pushing away of this worrisome energy was a choice that you made to stop dreaming and to stop worrying, and instead to focus on, speaking of focus, let's get us back in focus. Instead to focus on this Queen of Cups energy, which is this emotional fulfillment piece. So these portions of the reading have already happened, interestingly, internally as part of your spiritual journey. This Queen is the Queen of Cups. So it was the last part of what Spirit is collapsing, which is becoming this Queen of Cups within yourself and being content with that. Like, look, this is where I am. This is who I am. And I will be emotionally fulfilled in my own corner, particularly if we're talking to people who are single here. This is something that you made peace with. The 8 of Pentacles in reverse tells me that there was also a feeling of, and relinquish comes up again as a word, which means to release or let go of, kind of to forcefully surrender. There was a relinquishing of all the effort that had been put in. So this is something that's popping up this week. At some point, you decided in your journey for the manifestation of this emotional experience, whether it is a partner or some kind of attainment of an experience, a person, a place, or a thing. You said, I've put so much work into manifesting this. I really don't want to let it go, but you did. 8 of Pentacles is all about celebrating the work, celebrating the effort that has been put in. 8 of Pentacles in reverse tells me there was a deliberate choice made to stop looking into the past as justification for why something should be a certain way and simply stepping into the future. And what you did with this 6 of Wands in reverse is say, I don't care if I'm successful in this area or not. I don't care if I'm successful in this area or not. I am at peace with my own emotional fulfillment. I am focused on what I have. I am focused on what's in front of me. And what comes from that? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. It seems to me this week, Spirit, what are you saying? This almost looks like a face. This week, starting around Thursday, so that would be, let's see, the 19th is today, Tuesday. The 20th is Wednesday. Yes, is that Thursday? The 21st? I don't do math, darling, but this is the day that you start to be approached by this energy of love. Now, again, whether this is a person, place, or thing remains to be seen. But this energy is in your field starting on Thursday, and it is the approach of this desire of yours, and you will probably not recognize it. Instead, you will be focused on family. You will be focused on legacy. You will be focused on abundance. You may even quite literally, if you celebrate Christmas, be focused on the acquisition of presents for family and friends, or for just getting last minute things together, organizing parties and get-togethers. And what's coming to you, what you are attracting in this space, is this 2 of Cups, and you're not even seeing it at this time. Come Thursday, you might very well be in the presence of the person, place, or thing that you desire, or the link and connection to it, and not be aware of that thing fully, because we still have this in reverse, the 2 of Cups in reverse here. So it is there, but it isn't fully being seen by you, even though it's in your proximity, it's in your vicinity. But that all changes with the Empress, which I believe is our signifier card over the King of Wands, because this card specifically wanted to be drawn and set off to the side. And with the Empress, this always looks to me like a beautiful Polaroid picture. The way it's framed. You are suddenly realizing, come the weekend, all the way up to next Tuesday. Don't ask me what the date is. I think that might be January 2nd. Nope, that is definitely not January 2nd. That might be December 26th. you are realizing. But because I said January 2nd, mark that down. For some of you, it may extend into that period of time. Let's not put a linear time frame on it. Let's just understand that this is the week that this energy gains massive momentum and starts to materialize. With the Empress, it is fully materializing for you. So for most of you, that is going to be this week. That is going to be by the 26th. For some of you, it will be a pregnancy announcement. It will be realizing that you are pregnant, if that is something that you've been wanting. That pregnancy in and of itself is a manifestation of effort. It is work that starts out as something subtle and turns into something solid. We won't go too far into the anatomy lesson today, children, but just know that the metaphor stands. It is the beginning of something. It is the manifestation of something in flesh that started out as an idea. And that's exactly what Spirit's saying here. So if it's not pregnancy, it is the love connection. If it's not the love connection, and when I say love connection, it doesn't necessarily have to be a proposal, but it could be. It doesn't have to necessarily be a wedding, but it could be. It can be meeting the person who is going to be the long-term love, if that's something you've been looking for. Whatever it is nectar for your heart. It could be getting the email that you've been waiting for about the publishing for your manuscript, or the idea that you've been waiting for your next novel, or suddenly a music label is picking up your indie band, or relationship with a family member mended, or a call from someone you've been waiting for, something that you had released and gave up in trust and goodwill and good faith, not out of bitterness and not out of anger and not out of resentment, but out of surrender, purposeful surrender, to instead celebrate the present moment. That is what arises, and it arises between that Thursday all the way through to that Tuesday, at any one of those days. But I feel that it's going to begin to peak on that Thursday, and then really be peaking over the course of the weekend and into the holiday, if it's a holiday you celebrate. If not, it's the 25th and the 26th. So look out for this. Ultimately, with the King of Wands in reverse. The King of Wands is a character who seems to have it all. I have a whole relationship with the King of Wands. I think and you probably know this if you're a reader, you develop a bond with each card, and it becomes a recognizable figure that you cannot miss when it pops up. And the energy of the King of Wands to me is an individual who seems to have it all. Let's flip it around so you can take a peek. And has a connection to the divine. And this is a particularly mischievous one, but is one who is still looking. It is one who is still searching for their satisfaction, searching for that thing. In this case, for this reading, I take this King of Wands in reverse to mean that thing that you had shelved, that thing that you had said, I have it all and I'm going to be content with what it is that I have. I'm good. And yet it remains reversed because it was like, but there's still that one thing. And this week, Spirit says, baby boo, I got you. Your castle, I got it. Your heart, I got it. Filled with nectar, filled with love, filled with warmth, filled with that feeling when a desire is manifested. Everything starts out as an idea. Everything starts in the gap between divinity and form. But by the end of this week, beautiful soul, on a Tower Tuesday, again, something I never thought I'd be saying on this day, that gap is filled with form. So Spirit, I'm being drawn to grab this deck. It's another tarot deck, and just get some insights, some tips. Spirit, what do you want? What's one more thing that I can say to my beautiful soul who's watching? Either advice about how to carry themselves this week as this comes to fruition, or something to expect. Right here. The Six of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Coins. Wow. And the King of Cups. And there we have the Six of Swords on the back of the deck. We're going to place it off to the side, but it is a beautiful Six of Swords indeed. So with the Six of Cups, expect a resurgence. Yes, we already knew that. Something from the past. Something comes from the past. And this reminds me of the Anastasia song, Heart, Don't Fail Me Now. Something like Journey to the Past. There's going to be some nostalgic element in this, so look out for that. Whether it's an old friend, an old flame, an old idea, an old dream. This is what was once old now becomes new. With the Knight of Swords, be kind in your communication. Communication and words have the power to give life or give death. And Spirit has a piece of advice here to be extra kind in your communications. And when others try to communicate with you, receive it. Hold space with it. Listen. This particular card in this particular deck always reminds me of a standing coffin, an effigy or a sculpture, but it also reminds me of an Egyptian tomb. And there's something about stillness. The Knight of Swords is usually a very fast card, but this one is like the undead version of the Knight of Swords. It also represents to me the unspoken word. So a word perhaps from the past, unspoken, now comes roaring into you. With the Ace of Coins, you will be given gifts. And of course, my beautiful soul, that goes without saying if you celebrate this holiday. Of course, you're going to be getting gifts of all kinds, but this gift is the gift that your heart decided it wanted maybe a year ago. Not maybe, most definitely, maybe a last Christmas wish, literally from last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Yeah, the very next day someone gave it away. Well, maybe they're coming to ask for it back. And if they do, if they offer you something, it's something for you to take in the knowledge that it's safe to do so. And that it comes with enormous emotional satisfaction. You can trust this gift. You can trust this offering. It is in good faith. So, beautiful soul. And look at this. This coin almost looks like what is on his forehead here to me. There's a similar symbology there. I think it's like a lion here. And here it's a flame. You can trust the gift that you're given. You can trust what is offered to you in good faith. And don't be afraid to leave behind the past, particularly if this comes up in a nostalgic way, whether you're with family, friends, however this manifests for you, this gift, this manifestation. If it comes from the past, it's not a time to say, oh, that's old news, bye-bye. It's a time to say, I accept, and let's see where this road goes. Because Spirit promises that this road is a new road that once didn't have the power to fulfill, and now it does. It has the very nectar to fuel your heart. So, beautiful soul, I can't wait to hear what this is for you. Totally as unexpected for me as it was for you. I always come to Tower Tuesday prepared to talk about the death and destruction. And this Tower Tuesday Spirit says, no, it's all about love and creation. It's all about love and creation. And that is because of you. So I thank you for being a warrior on your own journey to love, and a warrior on your own path of healing and celebration of the present moment, because that is exactly what got you here. You are so very worthy of this, beautiful soul. You are so very worthy of love. More love, never less. So until we meet again, I am sending you all the love I've got and even more. It'll be an honor and privilege the next time we share space. Bye for now, beautiful soul.